When a husband or wife passes away, the survivor often loses far more income than they expect. Social Security can replace much of that lost income, but only if you know the rules. Most widows have no idea how much they are truly entitled to receive, and one wrong move in those first months can cut your check for the rest of your life. By the end, you will know exactly what a survivor is owed and how to claim the most. This is the one Social Security topic no surviving spouse can afford to get wrong. Survivor benefits are one of the least understood parts of all of Social Security. In plain English, they let a widow or widower receive a check based on a late spouse's record. They exist because when one spouse dies, a household usually loses an entire income. The system is meant to keep the survivor from falling off a financial cliff. We will cover what they are, who qualifies, the timing, and the costly mistakes. Get these right, and you could protect thousands of dollars every single year. So let us start simply. What exactly is a Social Security survivor benefit? It is a monthly check paid to a surviving spouse based on the deceased earnings. Here is the key difference from the spousal benefit, and it is a big one. While both spouses are alive, a spouse can get up to half of the other's benefit. But once a spouse passes away, the survivor can receive up to the full benefit. That is right, a widow can step up to 100% of her late husband's check. If his benefit was larger than hers, her income moves up to match his. But she does not get both checks. Social Security pays the higher of the two, not the sum. So when the higher earner dies, the household keeps the bigger of the two benefits. That single rule is the heart of survivor benefits, and everything else builds on it. Now, who actually qualifies as a survivor? The rules are clearer than most people fear. First, you generally must have been married for at least 9 months before the death. There are exceptions, such as an accidental death or a military death in the line of duty. Second, you can claim a survivor benefit as early as age 60. That is a full 2 years earlier than almost any other Social Security benefit. If you are disabled, that age drops even further, all the way down to 50. Third, your late spouse must have worked long enough to be covered by Social Security. For most people who held steady jobs, that requirement is easily met. There is also help for a survivor who is still raising the couple's young children. A surviving parent caring for a child under 16 can claim at any age at all. Let us put the main rules in one simple place before we talk about timing. Once you know you qualify, the next question is the one that truly moves the money. Here is where many widows accidentally lock in a smaller check for the rest of their lives. You can receive the full 100% only if you wait until your full retirement age. For survivors, that full retirement age is between 66 and 67. Claim the survivor benefit at 60, the earliest age, and it is permanently reduced. At age 60, you would receive only about 71% of the full amount. That reduction is locked in, and it does not bounce back as you grow older. So waiting from 60 to your full retirement age can mean a much larger check. But here is the twist that makes survivor benefits completely different from the rest. Unlike your own benefit, a survivor benefit never grows past your full retirement age. So there is simply no reason to delay a survivor benefit beyond that point. Waiting longer earns nothing. You only give up months of checks you could have had. Now here is the most powerful move that almost no widow is ever told about. Survivors have a special right that was taken away from everyone else years ago. You can take one benefit first and then switch to the other one later. That means you do not have to claim your own benefit and your survivor benefit together. You can start one early, let the other keep growing, and switch at the perfect time. Picture a widow whose own benefit will grow larger if she waits until 70. She can take the survivor benefit now, then switch to her own bigger check at 70. Or if the survivor benefit is the larger one, she does the opposite instead. She takes her own reduced benefit early, then steps up to the full survivor benefit later. Either way, she collects income now and still locks in the highest possible amount. This single strategy can be worth tens of thousands of dollars over a retirement. Yet because you often cannot do it online, many widows never even hear of it. Let us make all of this real with a simple, common example. Picture a married couple, Robert and Margaret, who plan their retirement together. Robert was the higher earner, and his monthly benefit was $2,500. Margaret worked part-time, so her own benefit was just $1,100 a month. For years, the couple lived on both checks combined, about $3,600. Then Robert passed away, and one of those two checks simply stopped coming. Many widows assume they now keep both, but Social Security does not work that way. Margaret keeps the larger benefit, Robert's, and her own smaller check goes away. At her full retirement age, she steps up to the full $2,500. That is $1,400 more than her own benefit would have paid her. But if Margaret had claimed that survivor benefit at 60, it would have been cut sharply. Her $2,500 would have dropped to around $1,790 a month. Now, what if you were divorced? You may still have a survivor benefit waiting. If your marriage lasted at least 10 years, you can claim on a late former spouse. The same generous survivor rules apply, even if you divorced decades ago. And here is something many people get wrong about remarrying after a loss. If you remarry before age 60, you generally cannot collect that survivor benefit. But if you remarry after 60, you can keep collecting on your late spouse. There is also a small one-time payment of $255. A surviving spouse or eligible child can receive that lump sum death payment, and dependent children can each receive 75% of the late parent's benefit. These pieces add up, so it pays to ask Social Security about every benefit you may be owed. Now let us cover the costly mistakes that quietly drain widows every single year. The first mistake is claiming the survivor benefit too early, out of fear or grief. That choice can permanently cut hundreds of dollars from every future check. The second mistake is not knowing you can switch between benefits over time. Many widows claim one benefit and never realize a larger one was within reach. The third mistake happens long before the death, when the higher earner claims too soon. When the higher earner claims early, it lowers the survivor benefit forever. When the higher earner instead delays, that future survivor benefit grows larger. So what should you actually do with everything we have covered today? If you are part of a couple, treat your claiming as one shared decision, not two. Often the smartest move is for the higher earner to delay their own benefit. That protects the spouse, who will one day be left living on a single check. If you have recently lost a spouse, do not rush to claim in the very first weeks. Call Social Security, ask about the switch strategy, and run your real numbers first. You can see your own benefit at every age for free at the official government website. And if your situation is complex, a fee-only advisor can run the numbers with you. So let us bring survivor benefits together in plain and simple words. A survivor can receive up to 100% of a late spouse's full benefit. Claim at your full retirement age for the full amount, not the reduced check at 60. Remember the switch strategy and never claim in a panic right after a loss. And couples, let the higher earner delay to leave the strongest check behind. If this finally made survivor benefits clear, you're exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe for simple, honest money guidance built for life after 60. Share it with someone who has lost a spouse, because this is too important to miss.